Are we filming? Yes, we are. So I'm about to do something really bad, and the Filofax purists amongst you might gasp in horror. But as some of you will know, I am not averse to modifying filofaxes in the interest of the wider science when it comes to efficient paper-based productivity. So what am I banging on about? Well, I can only do this once, so it's no good me if the dogs are barking when I do this and I have to re-record it. Well, I can't do that because what I'm about to do is going to be irreversible. So let me start with the background about what I'm going to do, because I am a big fan of the A7 format in mini filofaxes. So typically I do like this Rhodia paper, which I cut out of Rhodia notebooks and then manually punch them with a 3mm hole punch. So it's just nice. It's just very, very nice for a mini sized. I think these are 11mm rings. So this gives me plenty of real estate, the maximum amount of real estate in a mini sized filofax. But it's perfectly all right here where there's no pen loop and there's no securing strap. It is fine. It works very, very well. But there is an issue with my Portland Mini. Now, this Portland Mini I've had it quite some time. For those of you that have watched some of my videos, you will know that I rate the Portland model very, very highly. I'm kind of a vintage Filofax guy, but obviously the mini size was not available when they were manufactured in the UK. However, this was made now. Oh dear, I don't want to get into trouble here, but all I can say is I can't really reflect on models I haven't reviewed, shall we say, but I own several of these models and I rate the Filofax Portland extremely highly. To be honest, of the Filofaxes in the modern era, the three that I like best are the Lyndhurst, the Kensington, and the Portland. And it doesn't matter what Portland model you have. This kind of leather is very, very good quality. It does seem to pick up. I'm sure you can see the reflections of it. It marks very, very easily, but I think that's part of the charm, really. If you compare that to the Guildford range, which has this sort of smoother texture here, which I quite like. But one of the problems with the Guildford, in this case the Guildford Mini Extra Slim, is the interior. This one, there we go. You can see it's starting to crack. This one I bought very, very recently, and it had never been used. It was still boxed, but you can see it's just starting to go. There's some cracks forming. It's just a bit of a. Well, it's not. It kind of. I love the form factor, but I don't like the quality of this leather. However, when it comes to the Portland, which I have had, I've used it quite a lot, and I have never ever had any problems with the leather. I mean, it's just superb. For some reason, the leather in the Portlands just seems to last and last and last. It feels more substantial than the Guildford range. However, when it comes to form factor, I actually prefer the mini ones with no strap and no pen loop. But here's a compromise. Now, as some of you will recall, I really love this modification where I have, through soaking the pen loop in water for 24 hours, I was able to stretch it enough to fit a Kaweco Sports pen, and so now that the leather has dried, it's sort of permanently there. I mean, I could remove it if I wanted, but it is very nice, and I quite like writing in the horizontal format here, and then I put my pen back. It's just it has a certain tactile use that I quite like. The only problem with this is that I have to make the paper smaller, actually thinner. So if you compare this, so this is let me just turn these over and you can see. So, okay, so this is A7, and this is narrower than A7. Why do I do that? Because when you close it with this pen loop, I do like this pen loop. When you close it, you cannot, if this paper extended all the way to the ends, I wouldn't be able to, there wouldn't be enough room for the strap, okay? So what I've had to do is reduce the width of the paper so that I can basically have the pen naturally moving to inside and then a little bit, and then I can do the strap. So you can see that the pen is kind of sitting, nestling inside the leather, the external leather, which is okay. I'm okay with that. But the problem I find is that this is okay, but two issues. One is I have to use a custom size paper here that will not be transferable to my other mini filofaxes. So I quite often use I'm a big fan of the Filofax mini size, but you can see that I wouldn't be able to transfer pages from here to here. I mean, I could transfer pages from here to here, but I certainly couldn't transfer pages from here to here. So how can I resolve that? Why am I agonising over this when I carry a couple of these Guildford Mini Extra Slims. They're fantastic. I love the form factor. Well, there are certain advantages that this one has that this one doesn't. One is it's more robust, and secondly, it has something that's really useful, and that is a full width pocket. Fold a piece of A4 in half and it will fit in here. So, albeit it's sticking out the top a little bit, but that's fine if it's going in a jacket pocket or your bag or whatever. So I have come to the decision. I've come to the decision where I am going to, shall we say, modify this. And I know some people say, no, Neil, don't do it, because you could sell it. Well, this is a keeper for me. I like this, and although I do buy and sell filofaxes, I'm happy to sacrifice the purity of this filofax in the name of science. I'm just going to cough here. Excuse me, but we're still rolling. So how am I going to do this? How am I going to have this so that the pen loop can just stay out here? I can have full size A7 paper, and that acts as a full, that works, you know. And also, there is really no need for this pen loop as far as I'm concerned. Certainly, I don't overstuff these things, so there's no real need to secure it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the pen loop. So here we go. Going to need a sharp knife. So with my trusty Swiss Army knife, let's see if I can do this sort of fairly neatly without cutting my finger off. I'm doing it as neatly as I can. Right, my goodness. So it obviously will fade, but the thing is, we're not talking about aesthetics here. We're talking about hand and foot movements, or in this case, just hand movements. Will this work? Yes, it will. So it is already, as far as I'm concerned, it has become instantly. It has become a better working tool for me, and that's good. I will take an angle grinder if I can find it in my toolbox, and just grinds this off. Can you see this? The fastener, the nipple, if you like. If I can just grind that flush, it won't make any difference to the usability of the binder. And it's not sharp, so it's not going to do any. I can just leave that until I've had the chance to grind it off. Sacrilege, isn't it? It's absolute sacrilege. But I now have a working tool that is better than it was 60 seconds ago, and I'm quite happy with that. I really like that. It's suddenly become something that I'm not fiddling about with in any way. That works very well. I like the fact that the pen top stays there. There's good flatability with this, and so here we are. So I'm writing, and then I return it, and so it particularly from a point of view of flatability, it works, especially with the weight of that pen loop, that pen top still there. So I've now got a binder that is actually working very, very well. I'm happy with that. Okay, so thank you for watching and subscribing and liking, and if you don't like that, if you think that what I've done is very, very bad, then please let me know as well. But until next time, goodbye.